Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crusader Kings 2. Digging this new music. It's Horse Lords time. I have the expansion. It's early. New music's neat. New governments, and in particular the nomadic government, which we will have to, of course, be taking a look at. And we will be as Khazaria. Sorry for the breaks of my words, just this music. God, I love it. Alright. Let's just jump into the game, because it's going to be a lot easier to explain a lot of the new concepts with Horse Lords than simply sitting in the main menu. Unfortunately, for some reason, every time I bother to boot up this game, it gives me tutorials, but I'm hoping that will change. So, immediately nothing looks particularly different, but if we look closer, we have other things. We now have population, manpower, a vassal limit, but no holding limit. And we now also have clans that we must deal with. Most interesting. So, clan dynamics are interesting, to say the least. While we have each of the different clans here, we are also one of them. And also, we need more of them, apparently. 4 out of 5. I don't know in particular what the downsides of having less than this number of clans is, but we'll be cautious about it. And also, their general sentiment towards us and each other. This clan needs to be split, as they are unsurprising. As they are very powerful. They have 8,000 people following them. Whereas the others are much smaller at about 6,000 each. Perhaps we can do some more persuasion if we raise more men. So, unfortunately we also don't use the levy system. We use this new system, the horde system, which is basically the retinue system, except works a little differently. So, there we are. Alright, let's reorganize. I want you and you here, you here. No. You here. Okay. Did I do that right? No. Good, so we'll have the light archer, light horseman on the flanks, with the heavy horseman in the center and a lot of horse archers in the center. That will make for a strong center. I've of course made myself in the ruler designer, as I do, a mastermind theologian genius, who is a game master, if I do say so myself. Who's also definitely a scholar. Not exactly your average clan leader, but I can adapt. Just, chaste, temperate, charitable, kind, patient, proud, honest, shy, and trusting, as well as content. You know, each of those traits probably have a story between them. The Khan of Bulgaria has already engaged us in combat. Concerning. You aren't actually a proper Khan, you are in fact a feudal lord. Well, that interests me greatly. I can also have another special little thing here. Perhaps because they... Yeah. Oh, I can actually create more horde, it's just I don't have enough money to. Alright, money gets a little interesting around here. Other things I'll need immediately. I will need counselors. I will seek to put those who are the other clans in good positions for them. There. By making the other clans similar to me, is there any chance I can get a blood oath out of anybody? Perhaps rather than splitting this clan, it may be simply best to ally with them. I can form Blood Oath. I can only form a single Blood Oath, but it does allow me to get an ally. Some other things. I'm just going to immediately get some debutantes going. Let's do that. For the purposes of finding a waifu. Priestess of Riga. You will do. 300. Maybe not. Princess of Bulgaria. Okay, 0 probably for the best, since we need a lot of prestige as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, you'll find that the reason a lot of these clans have bad sentiment to us is bad prestige. So we're going to get 300 prestige. And holy hell, do I have a lot of marriage requests. Before we do that, I'm going to take some concubines. Preferably those that are a little younger, and thus capable of bearing children. I'm not going to be too picky about it. They all seem to be for this same person here. An iconoclast who's ended up in our court somehow. Probably because they're Khazar. I guess you may have her. Except you don't, because she's my wife, apparently. Whoops. Oh well. We're going to go for Paragon of Virtue. In addition to this, I think we have to go for a war focus, because we were just immediately attacked out of the gate. And we're going to need commanders. So, the commander system has changed a bit. And by a bit, I mean a lot. Now, only your marshal and anyone you give the commander title to this fancy new UI can lead flanks. Congratulations, you've been made commander. We'll need one more commander for backup purposes. Alright. So I'll be leading the center. You and you at my sides. Now we'll have to call in our vassals. Similar to the tribal system, we call them in through this system. Here, the easy way is just to do this. Because it looks like everyone will accept. In addition, anyone we have blood oathed, or the clan rather, since you can only have one, will always accept. They have to. Good. So, I managed to get the sentiment up. So I think everyone's pretty happy about it. Must not be a blood brother. And I can't split the small clans, can I? Pretty certain I can't, yeah. I can only use it against self or the most populous clan. Which is not me. Rather quite obviously. So unfortunately it appears our... Okay, I said they jumped the gun, but... reality is they didn't. Not at all. No, those bastards built a fort. In our lands, no less. How dare they? Well, in that case, we charge forward. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can we withdraw? The fuck is going on with that? The Bulgarian liberation of Crimea. I mean, I'm tempted to just walk away with white peace right now. That is a lot of dudes. I'm just not certain if they're at war with me. Like, I'm fairly certain they aren't, and they're just, like, vassal or something. Yeah, that's Karvuna, and that's all Karvuna. That's this guy, apparently. How much would I get for enforcing my demands upon ye? 216 gold, which is actually extremely needed. So... let's not charge blindly over the Hungarian territory this time, if I may. They appear to be sitting there, which is good. So, now we can get over here. So, nomads obviously don't really have holdings very much, but we'll have to build holdings in certain provinces, in particular temples, because we don't actually have holy sites without those. We actually have to develop and build holy sites, if you can believe it. Excellent. We have a son. Kuturkin. I don't know where you get that name from, because kin would imply... kin would imply, Kuter's child, I think. Either way. So, war score's sticking in our favor right now, so I don't really have to do much. We've already won. But I should get a spy master. Good. everyone seems to be enjoying me. I managed to get the clan sentiments all quite positive. We are bloodbound to the strongest of clans. So I think stability in this realm is pretty guaranteed. 220 is extremely important, because we will need to build buildings. In particular, there are a lot of buildings that will need to be built. Based on these. Unfortunately, I don't have much money right now. And because some of these buildings are extremely important, I'll go over why. See that little thing there? Population growth plus 3%. Population is power. Thus, population growth is basically 3% more soldiers, among other things. Can I not loot things I've conquered? Darn. It would appear not. I was hoping I'd be able to loot them. But no. Alright. Enemy opposition was limited at best. Yes, it seemed like a good idea to attack me at first, but suddenly, because I have the backing of all of my clans, it turned out to be a very poor idea indeed. Good. So the extra money we're going to use. Now we can get a lot of things. Building only active has trade post. Terrain desert. Terrain jungle. Have port. We should totally have a port here. I mean, I'm gonna get my councilman. Oh, shit. Sorry. I'm gonna have to reappoint you. You still love me. Good. Probably because you're like my blood or something. Clan sentiment and stuff. Good. Alright. So you don't hate me. Which is good. I'm going to attempt to build, I think, a shrine. Because shrine is the highest population growth. There are others, though. Fishing village is straight a bit. Port. Or border a major river. Interesting. Minority shrines. There are ways to get tech points through these buildings as well. And here we can see population growth plus 2% and morale of armies plus 2%. As you can see, there are various buildings, and they all tend to be pretty useful. But I think, like I said, we're going to start with a shrine, because not only does it get me piety, it gets me population growth, which I will primarily be focusing on. Now, the A-lands. I could expend a large quantity of prestige with which to invade, but I don't think that will be necessary. I think instead we're just going to expend small quantities of prestige for that. I think I only take it when I enforce. I don't know. I don't even take any prestige at all for Conquest. This, however, as you'll notice, costs about 300 prestige. But I can't use that because we need to be 90% of our maximum population, or about 27,000. Subordination, we can do at any time, similar to invasion, but unfortunately it costs a total of 500 prestige. And it's only for a duchy, so it seems like just going with these is a little bit easier to work with. I mean, we need to immediately get to work here. You honor your call against Khan Telreg of Bohemia, the Bulgarian revolt. Tell me why. I give a shit. Alright. Carry on. He is apparently my brother-in-law because I married his wife. Or his sister or something. Yeah, would appear so. Bulgarians aren't exactly settled yet, I suppose. Now, as it stands, it does not appear that I need additional anything. I beat them near Galek. With only 21 here, it's stupid easy. Unfortunately, however... Oh. We just get it? Excellent. Good. Clans want more land. I'm sure you do. Unfortunately, clans... There's a limit to how much land I can really have. And we'll need to give it out to clans over time. Clans want more land. Understandable. Lots of nice open space here, so we'll have to grant it out to the clans. The title of Menich. There we are. We want to try and take as much land as possible, as we do gain total population, and thus, as such, increase the strength of our horde as a whole. I need to be careful about not just thinking of myself, and in addition, think of, well, the whole. We need to carefully keep the clans balanced as well. It doesn't seem like there's any penalty right now for not having enough clans, but I'm sure I'll pay for that in time. For saying that. Alright. Population growth for a fishing village. There's got to be something a little bit better. Pretty certain there is. Composite bow. I think we might just do horse breeder. Nah. It is cheap, but... yeah. A bit of tax and a bit of population growth. Not bad. So, in addition, we also have to watch the Silk Road. Warfare is blocking as part of the Silk Road. Provinces that are occupied with siege will block Silk Road downstream. This is true. There appears to be warfare along here. And it is just quickly running over the Tibetan Plateau instead. It is rerouted, which is unfortunate. Deeply, deeply unfortunate that is the case. On the plus side, we just occupied Menich, yet another province in the Silk Road. Getting a hold of them tends to be pretty important, as it gives you this general income. Hard to argue with that. Yeah, for the most part, we actually control a lot of the Silk Road. We'll see about things, though. So, an invasion of Kumania, or straight invasion of Turkestan. Subjugation of Turkestan would be wise, I think, at this point. It's rather expensive on the prestige, but would stand to get us a fair bit of land, I think. Ultimately, I'm sure that will inevitably lead to us having more clans, but we'll see. For now, I've got a nice little stable horde going. And we're going to quickly try and gather up the power of the steppes. It will be important, I think. We can also promote new commanders as well. Ooh, right, I can choose a warhorse. Yes, for monthly prestige. Dragon, Sky, Arrow, Lightning. Dragon. With a breath of fire I shall strike down my enemies who darest to oppose me. And apparently I need a new flank commander here. Always have a backup. So, yeah, I think what I've got going here is pretty good. This sort of setup. We'll see, though. I generally think I'm going to phase out some things, but I don't really want to phase out anything right now. Because I don't really want light cavalry. As nice as light cavalry is, it's just not going to work out very well. Tribal Vassal Tax. Yeah, so we have all sorts of various taxes. Unfortunately, we have all entirely nomadic land, so that's relevant. We may have to make more land, if you know what I mean. It is indeed possible to do so. You can burn things to the ground. Oh man, though. Places like the Magyar capital, though. I'd love to have some of that. There's just so much space there. Anyway, population is growing. 1%. Building in a till plus 3%. Excellent. So yeah, the more empty holdings we have, the better. In general. And we can still grant more commander titles and others, such as Ishad, Yagbu, and Designated Regent. Although, since they don't affect the clan sentiment, I'm okay with that. Inevitably, we're going to need a lot more clans. Yes. We will need more clans. But that'll be for another time. I'd like to thank everybody for watching the first episode of Horse Lords. I've been your lovely host, Gilvin. I'm trying to go along and sort of explain things as we go and as they become relevant. So I haven't touched on the Silk Road much. I know a lot of people are going to be asking for that. But until it becomes more relevant and isn't blocked upstream by war and getting rerouted around me right now. So I just want to throw that out. I'm going to cover more things as we go along. It's just, I don't want to do an information dump in the first episode. Slowly ease you into it. Interesting. I don't know why you're the only one I can kill. I mean, we're definitely going to have to talk about mercenary bands and children. But for now, I think, like I said, I'm going to work to unite the steppe people. Under us. And it shall be glorious. So, just giant empty provinces. Must suck for, like, tribal people and anything else. There's just nothing out here. Wonder how much it is to build, like, the first thing. Because it's 400 for me, but I feel like it should probably be less for other people. Also, at some point, we're going to have to build, you know, like, temples around here just to get our holy sites. Reforming the Tengri faith would be needed. And none of our holy sites are actually created. It is a slight catch. It is a slight catch. It is indeed a slight catch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we're going to try and gather up what we can here. As it stands, we have 25% right now. Thanks to all of them not being settled, which is useful. We'll need to get up to 50, though. That, of course, will require us to do a lot of work. We shall see. So, thank you everybody for watching. This has been your lovely, lovely host, Gilvin, signing off.